Indoor air quality is one of the most critical factors when considering how healthy a home is, and yet it can be one of the most overlooked factors. I work with families every single day who desperately want to create a healthy home but don't realize that their indoor air quality is one of the easiest and most important fixes in their space. They often don't realize that the air inside their home can be one of the most polluted elements of their environment. So if you've heard of VOCs, you're on the right track. But there's a deeper layer of understanding needed to protect your health. Today we'll walk through three major categories of invisible air pollutants: VOCs, TACs, and HAPs. And I will explain exactly how they impact your body, where they come from, and most importantly, what you can do about them. Whether you're starting your healthy home journey or are already making toxin-free changes, this is foundational knowledge and empowers smarter decisions and better breathing for the whole family. Welcome back. I am Amanda. I'm a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert, the owner and creator of Healthy House on the Block, where I empower you with knowledge and strategies to reduce toxins inside your space and create a healthier environment that really supports your health and your wellness. Today we are talking about indoor air pollutants and the specific ways you can get rid of them, avoid them, what they're doing to your health, and what you need to know about where these are found. If you're like most of my clients, you've probably heard of VOCs, and maybe you've even looked for low VOC paint the last time you refreshed your living room. But here's what I've discovered after years of helping families create truly healthy homes. There's so much more to indoor air quality than just VOCs, and what you don't know could really be affecting your family's health. I want to guide you through understanding three major categories of airborne toxins that might be circulating in your home as we speak: VOCs, TACs, and HAPs. So don't worry if these acronyms sound really intimidating. I'm going to break them down in a way that makes sense and, more importantly, gives you practical steps to reducing them starting today. So VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, are probably the most familiar of the three, but they're often very misunderstood. So here's what you need to know. These are carbon-based chemicals that easily become gases at normal room temperature. That new car smell or the scent of fresh paint, those are VOCs that you're inhaling. And what makes VOCs particularly concerning is that they're absolutely everywhere in the modern home. When I conduct healthy home assessments, I often find elevated VOCs coming from so many objects. It could be that gorgeous accent wall you painted last month, or the conventional cleaning products under your kitchen sink. The Mountain Fresh plug-in air freshener in your bathroom could also be a source, or your new memory foam mattress, the pressed wood furniture in your child's bedroom, and even that nail polish you applied this morning. And here's something that might surprise you. VOC levels are typically 2 to 5 times higher inside your home than outside, even if you live in an urban area. And after certain activities like painting or using a cleaning product, those levels can spike to 1,000 times outdoor levels. So when I explain this to clients, their first question is usually, but how are these affecting my family? Now, the answer isn't comforting, but it's very important to understand. In the short term, you might experience headaches, dizziness, throat irritation, or fatigue, symptoms many people mistakenly attribute to allergies or to stress. But long-term exposure is where the real concern lies. Liver and kidney damage, central nervous system problems, and for some VOCs like formaldehyde and benzene, an increased risk of cancer. A groundbreaking 2022 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives confirmed what building biologists have been warning about for years. Chronic exposure to common indoor VOCs significantly raises the risk of respiratory illness, especially in children whose developing lungs are much more vulnerable. And now for the good news. Here's what you can do today to start reducing VOCs in your home. When you purchase new furniture, look for solid wood rather than pressed wood or particle board, which essentially is sawdust held together with formaldehyde-based glue. We want to choose zero VOC paints and finishes, not just low VOC. There's a big difference. Replace conventional cleaning products with plant-based alternatives or simple solutions like vinegar, baking soda, or castile soap. You can also ditch synthetic air fresheners entirely. Open up windows or use essential oil diffusers instead, and let new furniture off gas in your garage or outdoor space before bringing it inside. Are you a little unsure about where you even should be starting with the healthy house? Like, what are the first steps? After 10 plus years of hands-on experience, I know what those first steps are, and I know the steps to take that won't have you spending lots of money in the beginning, but will get you excited for all of the changes and all the potential that your house has. The truth is, creating a healthy house doesn't have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You just have to know the exact steps to take. Anybody can check things off a list, and that's exactly what I'm here to help you do. My free ebook is an amazing resource to help you get started on getting toxins out of your house and creating healthier habits, and also planning for the future for some of those bigger changes. Now let's talk about TACs, or toxic air contaminants. Think of these as the troublemakers that often originate outdoors but find their way into your home, where they can build up to very concerning levels. Now, TACs include substances like benzene from vehicle exhaust, formaldehyde from industrial emissions, and certain pesticides. Some states, such as California, have officially defined and regulated these as harmful air toxins, but that regulation rarely extends to the indoor air, which is where you actually spend 90% of your time. I see this problem frequently when working with families who live near busy roads or industrial areas. They assume that closing their windows keeps them safe from outdoor pollution, but in reality, these toxins find ways in through tiny gaps around windows and doors, air intake vents, or on your clothing and shoes, or even through open windows and doors. Now, once inside, TACs can linger much longer than outdoors, where sunlight and air movement help break them down. Your exposure to TACs increases significantly when you burn candles or incense inside, especially conventional scented varieties. When you use your gas stove without proper ventilation, allow smoking near your home, or apply conventional pesticides in and around your living space. The health effects of TACs are particularly concerning because they've been clearly linked to serious conditions like various types of cancer, cardiovascular damage, respiratory diseases, including asthma and COPD, developmental delays in children, and disruption of the endocrine system, or your hormones. One client I worked with was experiencing persistent respiratory issues despite having no history of asthma. And when we tested her home, we discovered elevated TAC levels coming from her attached garage, where exhaust was seeping into her living space. So simply sealing the door between the garage and the house and installing a carbon air purifier significantly improved her symptoms within weeks. So to reduce TACs in your home, I recommend these targeted approaches. So use a high-quality air purifier with both HEPA and activated carbon filters. Also ensure proper sealing around windows and doors to prevent outdoor pollution from entering inside. Run exhaust fans while cooking, especially with a gas appliance, and take off your shoes at the door to avoid tracking in outdoor pollutants. And finally, consider a home air quality monitor that can detect harmful compounds inside your space. The third category we need to discuss is HAPs, or hazardous air pollutants. The EPA has identified 187 specific pollutants as HAPs, chemicals known or suspected to cause cancer, reproductive harm, birth defects, and serious health complication. Now, what makes HAPs particularly concerning is that unlike some pollutants that cause immediate irritation or smell, many HAPs have no detectable odor and produce no immediate symptoms. So you could be exposed for years without realizing the damage that can accumulate in your body. So in my practice, I find HAPs most commonly enter the home through residue on dry cleaned clothing, aerosol products and synthetic fragrances, paint strippers and degreasers, pressed wood products, and infiltration from nearby industrial emissions. So let me share a personal example that might resonate with you. Years ago, before I understand the impact of these chemicals, I occasionally would get dry cleaned clothing and bring them directly into my bedroom. Now, I didn't realize that these chemicals that are used in dry cleaning were slowly off-gassing into my bedroom air. My sleep quality suffered, and I experienced headaches until I learned to let these clothes air out completely before bringing them inside if I absolutely had to have something dry cleaned. The Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry has found that even low levels of long-term HAP exposure can result in subtle but serious health effects, including damage to the developing nervous system, reproductive and fertility problems, increased cancer risk, liver and kidney toxicity, and immune system suppression. In order to protect yourself and your family from HAPs, you want to choose water-based or natural products over solvent-based ones whenever possible. And if you have to have something dry cleaned, which I would recommend you avoid at all costs, at least let it off gas outside or in a well-ventilated garage before bringing it inside. You want to avoid aerosol products and opt for pump sprays if needed. And look for products specifically labeled as HAP free for paints and finishes. And finally, be extremely cautious with any product labeled as a stripper, a solvent, or a degreaser. So now that I've explained each category, you might be wondering how they relate to each other. And here's a simple way to think about it. Some chemicals qualify as both VOCs and HAPs, such as formaldehyde. Many TACs are also classified as HAPs. But not all VOCs are HAPs or TACs. However, many of them are. And all three categories contain substances that can harm your health. So what matters most isn't memorizing which chemicals fall into which category. It's understanding that these substances are likely present in your home right now and taking consistent steps to reduce them. So the good news is that many of the solutions overlap as well. So improving ventilation helps reduce all three types of these pollutants. This could be as simple as opening windows for 5 to 10 minutes daily, even in the winter, or installing a mechanical ventilation system if you live in an area with poor outdoor air quality. Using natural plant-based cleaning products addresses multiple categories at once. So when you swap out conventional cleaners for simple ingredients like vinegar, baking soda, and pure essential oils, you're eliminating VOCs, potential TACs, and several common HAPs in one move. You could also opt for something that is EWG verified. I like to use the Aspen Clean concentrated cleaner. This has replaced multiple cleaners in my house with one completely toxin-free option. And of course, a high quality air purifier with both HEPA filtration for particulate matter and substantial activated carbon, this is for the VOCs and gaseous pollutants, can significantly reduce all three of these categories of airborne toxins. I want to share something that has become increasingly clear in my years of working with clients on healthy home transformations, and that is the quality of your indoor air affects virtually every aspect of your health. When you breathe in these chemicals day after day, year after year, your body's detoxification systems can become overwhelmed. This doesn't typically cause dramatic, immediate symptoms. Instead, it creates what functional medicine practitioners call total body burden. So think of it like a bucket that slowly fills with each exposure. Eventually, that bucket overflows, manifesting as unexplained fatigue, brain fog, and difficulty concentrating, increased allergic reactions, headaches, migraines, skin issues, disrupted sleep, hormonal imbalances, and compromised immunity. I've seen clients experience remarkable improvements in these symptoms once they address their indoor air quality. One mother I worked with had a child with persistent eczema that wouldn't respond to any treatments. And after we identified and removed several sources of VOCs and HAPs from their home, her daughter's skin began to clear within weeks. So I don't share all of this to frighten you, but really to empower you. Knowledge truly is power when it comes to creating a healthier home. And remember, you don't have to make every change at once. Even small steps can significantly reduce your exposure over time. So this is a simple 3-step approach I recommend to my clients. First and foremost, eliminate what you can. Remove synthetic fragrances from your home entirely. Replace conventional cleaning products with natural alternatives. Choose low-emission materials for any new purchases, and never allow smoking or candles inside or near your home. Second, whatever you can't eliminate, make sure you're filtering. So invest in quality air purifiers for bedrooms and main living areas. Use a range hood that vents outside when cooking. And consider upgrading your HVAC filters to a MERV 13 or higher that also contains carbon. And finally, add houseplants that filter the air like snake plants or peace lilies. Finally, ventilate consistently. This would be opening windows daily, even if just for a few minutes. Use your bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans. Consider a heat or energy recovery ventilator for the entire house to exchange the air on a regular basis, and air out new purchases before you bring them inside. So remember, creating a truly healthy home is a journey. It is not a destination, and each small change you make builds toward a significantly healthier living environment, and your lungs and your brain and entire body will thank you, often in ways you might not expect, from better sleep to improved concentration and energy. If you'd like personalized guidance on identifying and addressing the specific air quality concerns in your home, I offer comprehensive healthy home assessments that look at these pollutants and many other factors affecting your indoor environment. What's one change you could make this week to reduce your exposure to these airborne toxins? I would love to hear about your healthy home journey in the comments below. Breathing cleaner air starts with awareness, and now you have it too. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I am so grateful you're here. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new tips and ideas on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness.